Yeah, easy. Okay, we have with us Bapolu County Senator Amara Konneh. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Julius. It's always good to be back. Thanks for inviting me.
You
I'm
you
happy to be here.
you are wearing a brown. Is it a brown tie?
Yeah, it's a tan suit with a brown tie.
And we are talking about brown top, and you're wearing brown tie.
Yeah, what is that, by the way? Tell me about it a little bit. Let's talk about that. Let's start the.
No, that you got.
Let's break the ice. Let's break the ice
Do you
with
know
that one. What is the brown top thing?
Do you know what brown top is?
No, I don't. But I've seen people write about it in the past 48 hours. Something going on in Nimba or something?
Yeah, but you know about aphrodisiacs.
Absolutely not. Oh yeah, aphrodisiacs. Yes, yes.
So
The main thing.
yeah, so it is an aphrodisiac according to
Made in Liberia?
no, I think it comes from Nigeria also.
As usual. All medications and stuff like that come from Nigeria.
But yeah, have you heard about them? Have you used them? Have you tested?
No, I don't need them.
Why?
I don't need aphrodisiac. I'm fine. I'm healthy. I'm okay. I exercise. I eat right. I don't need to worry about that. Those who worry about that, the people who have blood flow problem.
But you are aging, and sometimes people say some of those things are good for people who are aging.
My wife hasn't left me yet. My wife is still with me, and she's happy.
But it is a serious social issue because a whole lot of younger people are getting hooked on those kinds of things.
I don't understand why 20-something-year-olds, anyway, when you're in that age, that's all you think about. I don't understand why they would worry about stuff like that, when biologically in that age, you have the natural stamina to do, to be intimate with a woman or whoever you are. But then I think it's also the mental, psychological part of it that made people think that they could do better than what they could naturally be. But my only thing is, I hope they are safe. I hope it's not killing people. I hope it's not bad.
We'll have a health practitioner here on tomorrow to tell us what those things are. Are they okay? Are they not?
Yeah. For example, popular medications like how you call it?
The Viagra.
Viagra and stuff. You will need prescription for those ones because those type of things affect your heart and the way it pumps the blood. It's all about blood flow. If your arteries are clogged with cholesterol and stuff like that based on your diet, then you're gonna have a problem. But if you just watch what you eat and stay healthy by exercising, moving around, you should be fine.
When you were minister, you used to exercise?
Yes, it's been part of my, it's just a lifestyle of mine. I asked the finance ministry people. I never took the lift regularly, only when I was running late or something, but I always took the stairs all the way to the 9th floor.
Oh, okay.
It was good for my heart. And then I'll work through to like midday or so, and then I always ate with my deputies and occasionally assisting ministers and some directors just by invitation, just to talk about their departments and so on and so forth. That was the culture I had from planning ministry all the way to finance. But then after lunch, I'll take the stairs down. I'll take it back up because it's good to always walk immediately after eating because we eat a lot of carbohydrates here and oil in almost all of our menu. So by walking 9 flights of stairs, you force the sugar in the carbohydrates to go straight into your muscles versus to your liver and then forming the pot belly later on at night. I'm not a doctor, but this is all, I read medical journals. So even in my house now, when I eat, I just walk around the house. I go downstairs, I go upstairs. I come outside. I just walk around like some zombie, looking for nothing but just trying to make sure that at least 10 to 15 minutes of walking after eating a heavy meal, particularly a carbohydrate-rich meal, is good for the body.
Yeah, because there's a whole lot happening with different people, different health issues.
Yeah, this morning I posted, I do this posting when I go to the gym just to motivate.
Yeah, because we see the whole lot of videos from the gym.
To motivate
you are
people.
even
It's
challenging younger
not
people.
Not to show, but to motivate, particularly people in my age group. But one thing I'm observing in our country is that a lot of young people complain about pressure. What happened? You went to the hospital, you're sick. What's wrong with you? The doctor said I get pressure. That's hypertension. And hypertension is not only for fat people. It can be for younger people. That has to do with really what you eat most of the time. Some of it can be hereditary, but most of the times
a lifestyle choice.
Lifestyle choices. And people will say, well, because you're senator, you can afford to do it. No. I eat rice. I eat palawa sauce. I eat potato grains. I just tell my wife. She knows from day. Not tell her, but she knows from day one. She's also like that.
She's here.
Yeah, she's here. We don't do a lot of salt.
Wow, it is surprising.
A lot of Vita. The Vita is worse than the salt in terms of sodium content. And then that will cause your body to retain a lot of water. Water and blood don't mix well for the heart. And then it leads to the pressure and the hypertension because you have a lot of water in your blood going to the heart and pumping it down. And then your kidney is under stress, and so on and so forth. So you can eat anything in this world. What you eat matters, and the way you eat it. So when friends come to visit me, I try to share my little knowledge to them. We always have meat and chicken in our food. So our culture does not allow people to pick in the soup. But it's always good to eat protein, which is the fish, the meat, the chicken, before you eat carbohydrate, the rice. Yes.
First time hearing this.
Yeah. Why? Because carbohydrates have sugar. The rice we eat has a lot of sugar, particularly this imported rice. So country rice is better because it's organic. The sugar content in it is low. So when you eat carbohydrates, your stomach processes it faster than protein and healthy fats like avocado. If you can eat avocado first, then you eat your meat on top of that. In your stomach, while your stomach is processing that, the rest comes on top of that. Your stomach processes the rice last. So the sugar get absorbed into your bloodstream gradually, which is better for you than rapidly. Because the moment you put something in your mouth, according to doctors and medical journals, your body, your pancreas releases something called insulin. As soon, right now, as we're eating, I'm drinking water. I just drank green tea in the car before I came here. I haven't eaten yet since I ate 9 p.m. last night. I went to the gym fasting. So when I go home now, I will eat. But the way I eat could help me to be healthier or could destroy all that effort. We Muslims who fast all the time. So they say we should eat fiber-rich food first. And we have everything here. And you're talking about butter pear. It has fiber in it. If you can get butter pear, you can plant it in a yard and something. You eat that first. And
that is one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's healthy fat too. It's good for the heart. Then that goes down first. Then second, in fact, they say before you start eating, you drink a warm lemon juice. Ain't no lemon that we plant behind our house. It's healthy because it creates, acidic reaction in your stomach to process food faster. So when you drink the lemon juice first, then you begin to eat in that order of fiber, and then the protein, the meat, the fish, and then before you eat your rice and your soup. So it's first come, first in, first out. 5-4 in the stomach. The stomach's a small bag. So the food goes in there. The one you put in first is the one that gets processed. The one with less sugar is better for you. By the time it gets to the one with the sugar now, you know, in your small intestine is processing the fiber, the protein, then the rice gets processed, you know, smaller. Your insulin comes in, but the reaction is not going to be much because the sugar in your blood, the normal sugar, when you eat, it goes up just like when your fever goes up. So the insulin balances it so that your blood sugar level is normal. But when you keep eating carbohydrates, every time you eat rice, you eat plantain chips, then lunchtime you eat another dry rice and fried fish, then you do this one, your pancreas is constantly pushing into your bloodstream insulin. Then you become insulin resistant. That leads to type 2 diabetes.
Okay.
And then when you continue to do it now, you get to full-blown diabetes. Next thing you know, small soul cashew now, you know, it becomes a problem. So the way we eat and what we eat matters based on my small knowledge of medicine.
His name is Senator Amara Konneh. He is not a doctor, but we have a doctor here on tomorrow giving us...
Maybe you should ask the doctor to see what I'm saying.
Yeah, sure, we will.
But the way we eat and when we eat, don't eat after 7 p.m. if you can. It takes about 4 hours for our stomach to digest the food. So if you ate your last meal at 6, no more snacks, no nothing, maybe green tea later on before you go to bed, or they get some kind of tea called chamomile. It helps to relax your nervous system so you can sleep. You drink that, or maybe ginger to help the digestion overnight. By time, if you're going to bed 10 or 11, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that's 4 hours, your stomach finishes digesting. The heavy work is done now. It goes into your small intestine to get the nutrients, the vitamins, into your bloodstream. And then after getting all the nutrients, then it goes out now through your large intestine as feces. But in the morning, you wake up, don't just jump to eat breakfast. See if you can delay breakfast to around midday. Then you reduce your insulin sufficiently. That way you'll be able to, hopefully, prevent diabetes from catching you. And what I see in our country, a lot of young people are suffering from hypertension and diabetes, sugar. They people say I get sugar, they people say I get sugar. So it's the lifestyle and the way we are eating.
Sometimes we think when we get this new job or something, we think, you're eating anywhere now, anytime.
Drinking high-calorie drinks, like, soft drinks, you think you're bluffing, or rocks and these energy drinks, think it will make you stronger. And most especially beer. Beer is empty calorie. It makes you fat, So they say it's good to drink them in moderation because they affect your liver. And your liver is the most important organ besides the heart in your body.
Okay, great. Hope somebody learned something out there.
Yeah.
So the Public Accounts Committee.
Yes.
You've been holding a whole lot of public hearings.
Yes.
Yes. The one on the transitory accounts.
Yes.
With commercial banks for taxes. Let us start from there. What do we know from there, and what are the recommendations?
Julius, when we entered the legislature, our colleagues appointed us to head the Public Accounts Committee. We have our Senate side and we have the House side. We started running. Right now, we've completed about 12 other reports that should be with the president. Very important ones with recommendations. And then we'll be checking with him maybe at the 1-year anniversary to see the action he's taking on that. And then the crisis in the House happened. That sort of stalled our work. So we've started The transitory account is an audit by the GAC is an important audit. We had a public hearing, well attended, organized, and was how do I call it? People, senators were on top of their game, and the witnesses were also on top of their game. The banks were there. Basically, the Auditor General is reporting that they could not trace, about $370+ million from these transitory accounts with our 9 banks to the consolidated account. For those who may not know what a transitory account is, it is the account that the LRA establishes with the commercial banks with the authorization of the Minister of Finance for the sole purpose of collecting government taxes, since people will not be going to the central bank to pay these taxes. And then they get a flag receipt from the LRA. Mm-hmm. But then the LRA signs an MOU with the commercial banks that these accounts, any money they collect, any tax money they collect during a day, but at the same time the next day, 24 hours, they should sweep, meaning they should move the money from the transitory account after they take their fees into the consolidated account. So this audit established that the commercial banks were not doing that between 2018 and 2023. Okay? And they could not trace about $300 million into the consolidated account. That doesn't mean that it didn't happen, but they just couldn't trace it. Maybe they didn't provide the information and so on and so forth. And the second aspect from that audit, which we talk about at the hearing, is that about $53 million in reversals, meaning the money was posted to the government account, but then it was reversed from the government account. So if money was paid for the government and it was debited and then later on reversed, then you need to tell us why and where that money went. We're not accusing you of anything, but you need to tell the committee through the Auditor General the approval, the documentation, and the reposting statement, journal entries and so on and so forth for that account. So this is for that account. So this is where we are. So after the public hearing, we've been...
What was the explanation, the issue of the transitory...
No, they all said on oath that they remitted all the monies that they collected on behalf of the government at the hearing, for those who followed. So we say, okay, you will stay on oath until we can ask the detailed questions. So we started that engagement this week. So the Auditor General now has cleaned up all of his data, and we are going to be communicating with each bank, to provide statements for all of the monies they collected on behalf of the government, and also approval documentations and reposting entries for the reversals that they made on the account, so that we know that what they told us on our oath is actually true. That's one major audit that we are looking into right now. So around the 27th or 28th of this month, we'll be meeting with them again to review the reconciliation.
The RRA Road project.
Yes. That's the second big audit report that was released by the Auditor General. The Auditor General found that road is not being built based on the specification in the agreement. They're not building it up to the standards that was agreed to and approved by the procurement committee. They are talking about more than $100 million that they couldn't account for, and so on and so forth. So
is it 1 million or 100 million?
100 million. Okay. So we schedule a hearing, but unfortunately the contractor and the former government officials, meaning the CDC era officials, public works and so on and so forth, did not come to the hearing. So we have pushed that hearing to Wednesday coming. And as I speak to you, the Sergeant at Arms of the House of Representatives, supported by the LNP, is delivering the citations again, for them to come. We look forward to their coming. Also, we'll be putting public service announcement on the radio with names of individuals, the auditees that we want to talk to at that public hearing. And we encourage the public to come and tune in so that they can understand what's going on with the RIA highway. That road, no work has been done on that road now for almost a year. Since this year, nothing. It stopped. We need to understand why I say that the key financier, the Afro-Asian Bank, is not willing to give additional money, maybe because of their own internal audits, confirming what the Auditor General is saying. So we need to know so that we can finish that road, which we believe will be good for the country.
The LAA.
Yes, Liberia Airport Authority. So linked to the highway is the Brabus International Airport. How it was managed over the last, during the CDC regime. So that audit report too is adverse, meaning it's bad. We're talking about between $5 to $10 million unaccounted for, according to the Auditor General. We would like to hear from those who manage the airport during that time, as well as those who are there now, so that they can listen to some of the errors the other people made for them to fix the airport, because it's a major gateway to our economy. So those two hearings were rescheduled for Wednesday.
Grand Bassa Bong and Nimba
Yes.
Development Funds.
Yes.
We saw the Nimba audit report, the
Yes.
Bassa and all that.
Yeah. The Auditor General also released audit report on the Bong Technical College, adverse, meaning bad. The management of the Nimba County money, development money, adverse, as well as Grand Bassa County. So our intention is to hold the hearings for those audit reports in the counties.
Okay.
So we'll do Grand Bassa first, then we'll move to Sanikole, and then we'll close it up in Bong County and return to Monrovia. So the letters for that, I believe, will go out sometime tomorrow or Thursday through the Ministry of Internal Affairs. And we will also put public service announcements.
That's the Ministry of Local Government.
Local governments, you're right. Local government, thank you for that. And then we'll put public service announcements on the community radio stations so that people know that we are doing this. Especially the former officials are expected to be there. And we'll hold the hearings and then come back to Monrovia. Our committee is one of the committee, if not the committee, that was sanctioned by both houses to work during this period. So that's why you see me dressed like this,
Okay.
because we're always working just to get the hearings done and also be able to finish as many with as many hearings as possible before we return in October, when we'll be focused on the budget for next year.
Why is it important to take these hearings to the counties?
It's important because our government, we've been talking about decentralization now. The Ministry of Local Government was established, was enacted mainly to support decentralization. So we want to also decentralize our work consistent with the law we passed. So going to the counties, it will give citizens the opportunity to know how much money the legislature appropriated in the budget for the audit period for them, and then and how they were spent. So we would like for them to participate by coming to the hearing. Of course, they can ask questions, but they will be there as witnesses to history, to be able to learn for themselves, as well as those listening on radio, what happened.
Given that you're taking the hearings there,
Yeah.
It will mean the concerned people have to be there.
Correct.
In order to make it what it's supposed to be. What will happen if, especially the former officials, do not show up?
Yeah, like I told you, we're taking extraordinary steps within our constitutional authority to get them there. And our enforcement officers, are the sergeants at arms. So they are delivering these letters. We are talking to people for addresses and so on. And we expect them to come there, because if they don't come there, then we will just assume that whatever the Auditor General wrote is true. The whole process of public hearing is due process, legislative due process. Yeah, you, Julius, manage this organization. You were given this amount of money. The Auditor General found that you did not spend the money like this, like that. You should come and explain what happened, to the committee. And the committee will deliberate, just like juries do on these issues, and then report back to our respective plenaries before it even go to the president, and that's when the prosecution or the restitution process begins.
Okay. The GSC also did an audit on the LDEA.
Yes, GSC did an interesting performance audit on the LDEA. And that audit is revealing. It speaks to the institutional challenges within the LDEA, the way, based on their own data, the way they are manning the borders and the way they are dealing with this whole drug epidemic we have in our country. We believe that hearing should happen when we return, because we don't want it to jeopardize, what is happening right now with the whole cocaine stuff. So we'll wait, but it's public information. Actually, it's on the GSC website. It's been released now for a couple of weeks, but we want to wait until we can see significant progress on the ongoing investigation.
Okay. Now, before we come back to other issues, let's go to Bapulu County, where you come from.
Yeah.
There is this issue about the weekly market in one of the districts there, and how you can have them connected with the larger economy through Bon County.
Yeah, you are talking about Genwulala District. Genwulala District is one of the largest districts in terms of land mass, surrounded by 3 major rivers. All right? The Simple River, right around the area they're going to be doing the second hydro, SP2, bordering Bapulu and Bon County. Then up north, you have the Via River. The Via River borders Bapulu and Lofa. Then you have the Tuma River. That's west, bordering Genwulala District and Bokomu District. So to enter the county by vehicle, you have to cross one of those rivers. So since the creation of Liberia, there was a bridge on the western side of the county connecting Bopulu City to the administrative district of that district. But that bridge was out. Thank God this administration has rebuilt it, but the road has not been fixed, so only motorbikes and pedestrians by foot can use it for now. But this weekly market you are talking about is in Paikole.
Okay.
This is where the entire district comes every week, and people from Bon County will come there every week. The majority of the population in Genwulala district are farmers, large farmers. So, and they diversify their crops. So every Thursday they come to the market. They don't have access to the main economy through Bon County. So people come to the market, of course. Market forces will determine
buy
how much
cheaper.
they pay cheaper and so on. So they don't really get the value for their crops. Sometimes, even if they don't buy, then they have to take the crops back home and consume. Then that's you call it post-harvest losses in economic terms. Even though you are eating it, you're not getting
some even get spoiled.
Correct. So when I ran to become senator, and I went there, and I spent a week in that district on motorbike, just visiting the towns, 8 large towns. You enter in the middle of forest, you see children, you see mothers, you see elders. They're having their life, they're having football games, and so on and so forth. But some of the children have never seen a vehicle in their lives since they were born. So we committed to work with our colleagues in the government to change that. So fortunately for us, we've been able to work with the Ministry of Public Works, thanks to Minister Giddens and Deputy Minister Tamba, to open the road from Bon County to the river, and then opening the road now from across the river to Paikola town, and putting in there a ferry as a temporary measure through Lace that could carry about 50 tons of vehicles and people to one crossing, while the government is constructing a bridge upriver, which is going to cost somewhere around $8 million and about 2 years to complete. So hopefully the ferry was certified and tested around the 26th. It brought joy to them. And in the next few weeks, we plan to commission it and enter the town with the vehicle for the first time.
That will lead us to talking about the overall economy of the country, even with we saw some impressive numbers from the CBL. Economy performing or may perform better, and all of that. But everywhere you go, you still hear, "Oh, the country high, the country high." I guess people tell you that everywhere. Why is it always a mismatch between what the numbers, the academic numbers are, and the reality on the ground?
Good question. First of all, let me say here, I said this a while ago, but people politicize it. I know my colleagues, my friends are listening, both UP and seditions are listening to me now. And when I say something that does not favor the other party, they will get online, start talking, no problem. But the economy has been stable for a while, particularly under this government. In the last 2 years, the stabilization started when you look at the numbers. Economics, those of us who've managed this economy multiple years, we know what we are talking. The President Boakai deserves credit and his economic team for the stabilization that we see. The exchange rate is stable. Inflation, central bank has been trying to keep inflation in check, but the whole fuel thing, the crisis in Iran and so on and so forth, have been affecting that. Every month, my office, my chief of staff, Siaka Sharif, and our coordinators in our 6 districts, we have our small lists, my background, data. I depend on data to make decisions, and it's hard for me to speak on the issue if I don't look at the numbers. So we track price changes in Western Liberia, not just in Bapulu County, in Western Liberia every month. I have the price data just for my own knowledge and for me to be able to engage the vice president, who the president appointed on this price control thing, and our Western Caucus colleagues, see what we can do to make sure that our people don't carry the burden of it. You can see it. The economy is stable at the highest level, macro. The budget is stable. LRA is reporting revenue performance. The finance ministry is financing programs. But somehow, somewhere, for some reasons, the businesses are complaining. And we're talking about formal businesses as well as informal businesses. So there's a mismatch there, and we need to do something.
What could be wrong?
$1.3 billion budget is the first time in this country. So we executed 800 plus last year, and now we jumped by almost $400 million. we should observe some relief, out there. But we're not seeing that. And one of the issues I talked about here the other day when I was here is this whole economic concept called the Malthusian trap. And that trap basically says that when your population is growing faster than your economy, okay, which is our case, then you don't have enough resources to pass around and touch everybody. That is why we see more sellers in our markets than buyers. And the buyers most of the time don't have the purchasing power to buy so that the money can circulate. So we depend on the government then to make sure that they are paying for goods and services that businesses are providing the government on time. We haven't heard any noise about that. They are also paying civil servants on time. Since this administration has come to a place, that's the stability we are talking about. But is it sufficient to be able to touch the growing population that we have in the country? When you go to my part of the county, you can see the hardship in the face of the people, in the faces of the people. When you travel the country, you go to the urban center, you see life. But then you see young people who are formally unemployed. Most of them are informally employed in jobs that don't have security and so on and so forth. So it's something that I hope we can come together collectively as a government to begin to do some deep diving, some analysis on what we need to do. The two peak seasons in our economy are the 26th and, of course, the
Christmas season.
The Christmas season. That period should experience a lot of infusion of money into our economy. So we need to start looking at MFDP and CBL to see if the infusion rate commensurate with the demand during that time, so that we can begin to see some of the relief.
Well, one of the things people talk about is that money business had even goodwill. There were people who say Ellington, we are time, the way people used to give, it's not really that way.
Yeah, it's true.
What can governments do? What can the Liberian government, this one, what can it do to make sure that money can reach people some kind of way?
The government, we're not running a socialist government.
But there are things that can be done so that money is not too far away.
Correct. So, the government is also constrained. It's constrained by laws, constrained by other things. We do the budget, we approve the budget is supposed to go into specific programs, and hopefully when the money is spent on those programs, there will be some kind of effect in the economy, right? Some of the PSIP programs to create jobs, temporary jobs, even if it is temporary jobs for people. In addition to the $35+ million that the government pays monthly as compensation to civil servants, the contractors and other people who have these temporary jobs also added to that. You're talking about close to maybe between $45 to $50 million. That's a lot of money to go around. But what are they spending it on? We don't know that. Most of it is spent on household, maintenance, feeding, children's school fees, and so on and so forth. So there's not enough money left in people's pocket to give charity to relatives and other people. So now people say money business is hard. Now, I have heard that Taylor Town was better than certain time. I can't understand that because during Taylor time, I was not here, but I understand, I heard that Mr. Taylor used to pay twice in a year and so on and so forth. So I don't really know if this thing about this person time is better than this person time, but in the case of right after the war, there was a lot of international presence in the country. So there were people outside of the government that have money to spend, on housing, to spend on supermarkets, to spend, in entertainment centers, and so on and so forth. So those who have apartment buildings and other things to rent out to these expatriates made money. But when the UN left, that money, that income stream dried up. Mm-hmm. So if you have an empty house sitting there, you have asset, but it's not giving you liquid cash in the form of rent payment, then you too now trying to struggle to survive.
And then jobs too left.
And jobs are left as well. And we're not creating new jobs. That's one thing we cannot politicize. We can't argue about, we can politicize it. The opposition will say, well, the UP is not creating jobs. But the fact of the matter is we are struggling to create new jobs in the economy. And I think to answer your question, this is where the focus ought to be. How do we create jobs in this economy for young people?
His name is Amara Konneh, Senator Bapolu County. Now, the biggest thing in town is the drug crisis, the cocaine issue.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, and every day we're hearing different things are coming up. You took some stake from a whole lot of people when you were referencing the IG statement about higher ups. People say, well, a whole lot of higher ups, some dismissed, some indicted, and all of that. Who are the higher ups you're still thinking about?
Yeah.
What do you think is happening?
Julius, our system, our security system is not broken. It was built the way it's operating now. So therefore, it doesn't need fixing, but it needs serious overhauling. And to do that, we need to bite the bullet and do serious reforms. The same way we are investigating now is the same way we investigated the auditor's death, is the same way we investigated the child who died in the former Chief Justice's house, is the same way we investigated the EPS officer, my neighbor, who tragically died. So all the high-profile investigations, somehow we create so much doubt. And then once the first week passes, when the government does not move faster to get facts out there, the political parties start to accuse one another and then sort of undermine the investigation. At that point now, anybody who speaks now, you're either speaking for or against the party interests. That's unfortunate. But what we have on our hands is a crisis. This crisis, the drug crisis, was a serious campaign issue and contributed to the CDC loss. My UP friends need to remember that. We can make all the noise from now until 2029. If we don't solve this problem, this is going to be on the ballot. That's one. Two, the fact that right now we don't even talk about the 19 million drugs anymore at RIA. That one is something. They finish getting their people. Those who fled the country, what effort they are making to have them extradited, and so on and so forth. We don't know. People will say, well, you're in the government, you should know. No, I don't. If I knew, I wouldn't be asking or, questions like I am. And I went to school and I learned by questioning. You can't settle for what the professor gave you. You can't settle for what your government gives you. You have to be you got to be a curious citizen to get to the bottom of issues. And if you are in my seat as a representative of the people, more so the silent majority, those who run up to me in the street and say, thank you and your colleagues in the Senate for flagging this drug issue, otherwise it was going to die like the other cases. We hear that, and this is not political, I'm not trying to score political points. Who will benefit, which party? I'm not in a party. But That's what ordinary people tell me when I go exercise, when I stop by the boys who are doing their artwork in my community, when I walk around and talk to neighbors, when I go to my county and other places, they thank us in the Senate for the hearing we did because it opened their eyes to the investigation and so on. And now the Senate can't take credit for all of it. The president is working. He's not a novice at this. So he's taking some actions. But the IG himself talked about high-level state actors in the current government and former officials. And the people that have been fired so far, some of them are senior officials. We welcome that. And we are just urging the president that if there are other senior officials that he has not, touched yet, he should try to do that. I don't know who they are. People say, well, you need, name them. This. I don't know who they are. But I'm just acting on.
But do you have an inkling? Do you have this safe sense feeling that there could be other higher-ups?
Well,
powerful?
My brother Martin Colley posted that night. He thanked the president for his action, but he also informed all of us through his platform that he had provided some key intelligence to the Joint Security Task Force, and pretty soon there should be another major burst. As a member of the Senate Security Committee, that's the kind of information I'm getting, just like you are getting. Mm-hmm. So then I get anxious as a national leader. If this is happening, then, should I remain quiet because I don't want people to insult me? Or should I raise the flag? And when you ask to see if we can be brief in our security chat room, there's no response, and they'll say, oh yeah, something will come soon, and then we'll just hear about things just like everybody else. So then I put my citizen cap on and say, we have to keep talking for the silent majority. I am a victim of this drug business. A member of my family whom I love dearly is still recovering from drugs. My, relatives, friends, they too have their children affected. We saw the drug march, not protest here, that the mothers led, wearing black, that we all supported. All the politicians lined up behind that. And then we read the Al Jazeera report just a few days ago, citing the
talking about increase in importation
LGEA report
of
that there's an 80% increase of kush importation into our country. So why should we keep quiet? Yes, it's okay for the partisans of the two major political parties say, oh, it happened during your time. No, you've been there for 2 years. How come you didn't do this? That's okay, but we have to rise above that and keep asking. And if there's something that they are still grappling with in the investigation that we don't know, hopefully our voices will help them to maybe take the right action to save the country.
Senator Koga, your colleague, was here on yesterday, and he's of the opinion that the president should either suspend or fire the heads of the different security entities connected to this, given that some of their undermen, who are not very far from the very top ops, have either been accused or they've been fired or they've been indicted. He thinks there has to be some kind of independent group of people to carry on this investigation. What do you say to that first?
Well, first of all, this is not Senator Koga's first time saying that. When the Senate, on the plenary, had a hearing with the Joint Security Task Force, he said that. He said that we should recommend to the president to, suspend the heads of the security agencies indefinitely. And then the president will get to hear the true versions from the honor men and so on and so forth. He said that, and, if he repeated that yesterday, then, of course, he's repeating what he said in plenary. But Senator Koga is a security man. He worked in the sector for many years, so he understands the psychology, the mindset, and so on and so forth. I served on the Security Council at the cabinet level for 4 years. I know how things are discussed over there, and so on and so forth. But I am not in a position to sort of allege that someone or so, I don't know. And I don't want to get into speculation. What I would like to see as a senator of this country, of this great country, is that we will take this seriously. We will do less politics with it because it presents a clear and present existential threat to our country. We don't want our country to be used as a transshipment point. That's one. Two, I also talk about the invisible hand and the moral hazard.
You wrote about that.
Economics in this. This was for educational purposes, for people to understand that in situations like this, first people act in self-interest. That's what Adam Smith was propagating to us when he developed the invisible hand concept. Everybody behaves in self-interest, but in a self-regulating market, which is the legal market, people compete in that self-interest, pursuit. But self-interest in illegal markets like this tend to have moral hazards. And the moral hazard is basically passing the consequences to somebody who is protected, who is absolved, by your position, by your uniform, by other things, proximity to the president, that in your mind, nobody will touch you. That is why they've been able, let's agree, they were here 2021. I mean, I'm not disputing that. But we've been in power now for 2.5 years.
And how the new people...
Correct. So let's...
New officials...
Correct. And this is where the moral hazard is, because the old moral hazard left power. They're not protected anymore. So they too now will introduce new people to their, to the cartel in their self-interest now, and pass that to other people. Say, no, this is happening, you can get a cut on this. So right there, if you have honest, moral, security people who should be protecting all of us, say, I got my target. From day one, then you disrupt it. Then you help the country. Then you honor the oath you took to save the country. But if you look away until you got caught, then I don't think anybody should be protected in that case. Because the drug business, Julius, is like waterbed. Maybe most Liberians don't know what waterbed is. Those of us who've lived in America and we had to struggle from the beginning, if you can't afford bed, you go to the store, you get something called waterbed. It's soft. It's like a gel in it. It's like water in it. When you go one side, the other side can pop up. So it hurts your body. It hurt my body. I have one. So it's not stable like the regular bed. So when you disrupt here, like the way they disrupted Doazon now, if based on what my brother Martin wrote and what other people are saying, that there could be more drugs in the country, they have actually moved now from that area to somewhere else in Monrovia. That's the waterbed analogy in this drug business. So we are saying that there may still be higher ups who are still sort of bearing the consequences because they've made commitment to the cartel. They've taken money from them, and now they have to deliver. So we are not in an investigation. We're not trying to jeopardize it. We are only saying, as a representative of the people, that should there be such people, please don't protect them.
Others are recommending for partners to take over the investigation, especially the Americans.
Well, not recommending, but I think I read a few posts from my friends in the UP that the Americans were here. I don't know, I have not been briefed on that. If they are here, that's good news. But I do know that our National Security Agency has been working with the Americans now for for 2 decades on this drug issue. The drug issue is not new to Liberia. I think everybody knows that. During President Weah's time, $100 million drug came in the country in container, frozen food container. Those who brought it were later acquitted, and the money that the government confiscated from them, $150,000, our court, Liberian court, ruled that the money should be returned. Those people got on the plane, they left this country. During the first UP administration under President Salif, the NSA contributed to the DEA, the US DEA, busting a major drug transaction here when the former director, Fumba Salif, was there. And for that, he was even featured in the Washington Post for, what the NSA did to help the US government arrest one of the major drug kingpin in Latin America. That person is currently in jail. He was arrested here and put on a plane straight to the US and, went through the court process there and they put him in jail. So if the US is here working with our people, that's good news. But
you should know if they are here. You should know.
No. I will not come on the radio and make stuff up. If I did, I will say, yes, I'm aware. But I don't. And I'm not curious to know. Because then, maybe they will say, well, he's a critical voice. You tell him, you will do this, you will do that. No, I know my boundaries. I've been on a security situation before. I know plenty of things about this country that I will keep to myself. But this drug issue, we can't keep quiet about it. I want to thank the president for the decision he's taking. I know President Boakai is wise. He may be slow, but he's wise. But I also know that right now he's getting all kinds of briefings.
That's the point.
He's getting the formal briefing through the right channel, through National Security Advisor Kofi Woods. He's also getting regular daily NSA briefing. He's getting briefing from Defense Intelligence. He's getting briefing from LNP Intelligence. That's why they brought the task force together so that everybody can work together and give the president one briefing. But guess what? The president also has a kitchen cabinet, people that you and I don't see. They see the president. They give
who
the
are very powerful voices.
Yes, they give the president their own briefings, but most of their briefings are based on sort of things the president may not hear through formal channels, the street talks, or the person Julius. They say Julius did this, or they said, all of that will come to the president. So he needs to be able to decipher everything, to be able to see which ones from the street through the kitchen cabinet he can take. So when criminals know that these type of groups exist around the president, they penetrate and build alliances on all sides so that they can speak good for them. I know that happens.
Before we take calls, former President Weah declared in the U.S. that he will be on the ballot in 2029. Were you surprised?
No, I wasn't surprised. I think it was just a matter of time for him to announce that. And I'd like to say that, it's welcoming. I think if he feels that he has work that he has unfinished work for the country, then he should make a case to the Liberian people. That's what democracy is all about. And, it will be left to President Boakai to make his own case. I think this is his election to lose. But whoever is going to win the next election will win it based on building additional alliances on top of whatever alliance you may have right now.
There's a possibility the former president or his party could come again.
Of course, there's a possibility.
Crawling to you.
To me?
Yeah.
How do we get there?
That's what I'm saying.
You always bring me on your show to expose me to.
You didn't know the question that was coming. You never got the ending, and you say yes. So there's a possibility they could come. Oh, Amara, we know 2023 runoff. We wanted you, we couldn't get to you, but we need you this time around. We need you on board. You are very important to this thing. I believe it will happen.
Well, you're right. There's that possibility. I am a stakeholder in the political process. I'm a state actor. I think I can say on this radio without coming across as a braggart that I'm a very good political strategist. I know how to win elections. I always say that. They say if you don't tell your story, nobody will hear it. Mm-hmm. I have that record. But Julius, I am not in any conversation with anyone about 2029. I have told people as recently as Saturday when I met with some UP friends who were trying to sort of see if we could do meetings and so on and so forth. I said, yes, I'm open to dialogue with anybody, but I want to go through this year. I want to be able to sort of complete some of the things I've started in the county. I want to observe the political environment. I want to observe the dynamics and so on and so forth before I can sit down and begin to talk. Because one person, I don't walk with my legs spread. And that's my shortcoming in Liberia, where the Machiavellian politics of deception and pure lies and greed and all of that. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I just come from a place based on my upbringing with my parents. When I give you my word, I mean it. You deceive me, I believe in a higher God. I've done my duty, I move on without any anger, and life has been good for me in that sense. But I don't like to be involved in backbiting, machinations and so on and so forth. That is why, for those who know me and have worked with me in this political competition, I focus mainly on how to use data to guide the candidate to win.
Are you considering joining a political party? You cannot always be an independent.
All options are on the table. That option is on the table.
I've heard a whole lot about ALCOP.
Yeah, it's true. ALCO, as you know, is a political party that really represent a lot of people, mainly people from my background. So people will assume naturally that that's the place I will go. The political leader of ALCO is my maternal uncle. I have deep respect for him. He's a wonderful man, a father to many, a stabilizer in our community, somebody who is not interested in hurting people. He just wants to make sure that the community voice is heard politically, and I respect that. I think he's doing a good job. I think he wields a lot of respect, and I think it would be foolish for ALCO not to continue with that, because what he brings to that position is far beyond just a political leader. I am a technocrat in many ways. My way of doing things, the way I am dedicated and gung-ho on efficiency and this and that, people, the culture here does not like people who push for more accountability, not just on money, but on getting things done. That's one of my problems in this environment. And so I would need some growing up to do in terms of age, because you get older, you get wiser, you become a father figure, and then you are able to see Julius and hold Julius for Julius, and then our sister here for who she is. But when you are someone who was educated and professionalized in an environment that is based on meritocracy, then at some point in Liberia, people will see you as arrogant. They will think that you don't see much in other people's work. And this is where the three lenses of organizational dynamics come to play: the political lens, the cultural lens, and the technical lens. So I think I am getting better at all three. But when I was here for the first time, I focused mainly on the technical, followed by the political. The culture of every week you get some family issue, you can't come to work, and so on and so forth. I wasn't used to that. But I realized that here it's a normal thing, and so you have to accept it. And it's hard for me because in Congo Town, where the overhead bridge is happening now, the Liberian workers there are more productive than the Liberian worker who is being supervised by the Liberian. They are being supervised by the Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wake up every morning around 5 to do my Fajr prayer. I swear to God, about 5:30, 6 o'clock, you hear the machine grinding the hole. The vibration comes into my house, and the people are working. Then when I'm going to the gym, I see my young Liberians who are fortunate to be working on that project. All there in full numbers, no absence. They are working, and we see how that project is going faster. Julius, if that project was funded by the government and undertaken by public works, you will see that we have not gone as far as that project has been. So what's going on here? Why is it that the Liberians who are supervised by the Chinese are more productive?
Even those who work at banks and with NGOs are more productive.
Correct.
Than in public sector.
I mean, I'm sorry out there if I'm not looking down on my people, but we got to call a spade. Until we can change that, to increase productivity. Some of the earlier questions you asked about the economy, things not going around, and so on and so forth, will continue to happen.
Let's take a few calls. We've exhausted almost the entire time. We use the next 10 minutes.
Liberia, man. You can't. I can't leave Bummy and keep my.
Yeah, and you already talk about that. And you talk about gathering data on prices.
Oh,
and
yeah,
all
that's
that.
true. But that was a small one.
Yeah.
But in any case,
so the next 2 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, just so that our people know, our chairman this morning had a very constructive meeting. Senator Alex Tyler had a constructive meeting with Minister Gafuan, Finance Minister, on our regional budget, our regional development plan financing. I think the legislature was able to then the president approved our plan and committed to supporting it. We want to thank Minister Gafuan for his commitment to support us. I think he committed that we should be able to get some of the resources out to the university, the Western Region University in Topmanburg, to Emirates Hospital in Bopulu, and see if we can start to do some kind of a contracting around the hotel in Rabo Sports. So
I hope I can get Senator Tyler soon. It's been, I don't know, forever.
I'll give you his number. Maybe you agree to come, but he's not the kind of person who
Yeah, I know that. I know we had the conversation in Nigeria, and he agreed. I think I still.
He did that today, and we are expected to meet somewhere between the 20th and the 25th in Rabo Sport with all of our superintendents and county health officers, the university president, to see how we can now begin to think about building bigger classrooms and dormitories for our respective counties in Topmanburg.
Okay, his name is Amara Konneh. We'll try to reach out again to Senator Tyler. It's been forever. We've not been able to hear from him. We will see next week if we can. Yeah.
Something, man, so that I can talk to him.
Yeah.
I'm his
talk
secretary.
To him for Monday.
I'm the secretary for him. I do all your paperwork, so so man, you gotta see me, man.
Yeah, sure. That one we do. We gotta bring him in here. We start from overseas. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Julius. Frank Gibson. Nosoni Kama is a very good man, but when I graduated in 1998, Nosoni Kama promised me $10 to go to my UA entrance. Today I spent 4 hours 30 minutes in Nosoni Kama office right at Cherry Street where he had a insurance office. That man took the back row and he left me sitting there.
Oh.
That one Nosoni Kama did to me. Now, I've got 2 quick questions.
The Frank Gibson. Yeah.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, we hear you.
I will tell my uncle.
He said you're telling me so the man can send the $10 to you in France.
You almost became a brother-in-law, Senator Amara, but that is not too important now. Honorable Konneh, the object you are talking about, it is from the CDC down to the 2 years of United Party, or it is because I believe what Jenny said, he was going to audit the company before continuing the job. When he continued the same company for almost 2 years, now he's going back to audit. Was that a very good decision? Lastly, Honorable Konneh, before I drop the line, you work in a civilized society. If the inner cycle is damaged, the leader take responsibility.
The what?
I think right now
the inner cycle
needs to resign.
You can use your.
The government company needs to be resigned because his inner circles are defective. Those guys are included in the drug issue.
Okay, thanks so kindly. We'll hold you there. Let's take a few others. Welcome. Let's hear you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Julius, how are you?
I'm fine.
And I want the parties to be very calm and soft, very relaxed, like Big Brother in there.
What is your name?
I sat in the car for an hour 30 minutes listening to him, and this may be biased, but it is true. He's not somebody who can lie, Julius. And some of my friends know, even during the election, when we had conversation, and I told them, if this man said this is this, don't argue, it is true. And he said he is a strategy, and I know that. I believe it, and I just hope that this time around, both of us
will be on the same side.
On the same side, and I mean visible on the same side. Not playing the back.
My brother Musa.
But he's a very
but then you gotta start going to the man hall. You start washing the man dishes.
He comes there.
Yeah, no, I mean like he got to do more to convince you.
We don't talk about we don't talk about this.
I just wanted to say he is a very honest person, and Judah, this is without bias. He's a very honest person. And I respect him a lot. You see the radio, how the radio look calm. You can come to the radio to make point without being loud, without being using effective. And this is the kind of people that we really need to look for. So people,
thanks so
I just want to say congratulations.
Thank you.
You're trying to massage the man with all the.
He's trying to recruit me.
Yeah, with all the sweet talk. See you. Welcome. Let's hear you. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello.
Hello, Julia.
Yeah, quickly. We don't have enough time.
So this is Mr. Riede. I'm Amara Konneh.
Okay.
Commonly known as Riede. And as my brother is still the Honorable Konneh. He said two things. He tried to play with some words there. He said the first thing he said, there's a kindness in the economy and prices, everything are good. But then in that again, he said if you go to the rural area and the Western Belt, every day prices changing. I don't know what he's referring to as price situation, whether in Morovia and concerning about Morovia or something. Again, he said you asked him whether they were trying to face it together. He said no, we overhauled it. And overhauled it means facing. I thought one person, let's say Honorable Konneh would have said that I said it last time was to put money into the security. We need no fixing.
Okay, thanks so kindly. Put money in the security.
Me again.
Welcome, and let's hear you quickly.
Thank you, Julius. Thank you for the great opportunity. And this is BG playing as well, Julius. And let me say good evening to the Senator of Baporu, Senator Konneh. How are you?
30 seconds.
Thank you. And let me appreciate him, the manner and form in which he can sit behind the microphone. You know, I encourage you to always listen to him when you take the mark on the radio station of like, okay. Now, the point is, Julius, until we can drive our country agenda and go along with the agenda, be it one party comes to power or be who leader comes to power, our country will be where it is, Julius. Let us find time, Mr. Konneh or Senator Konneh, drive this nation agenda that when you come to power as a party, you will follow the country agenda. That's number one. Number two, Julius, the issue of Liberians, like he said, and let's know keenly, that you see the oil bridge work is going, and our Liberian brothers are going to work on time. It is because of the party mandate. So if you see people working at that in Liberia, in the ministries and agencies, they feel very well that I'm for the CDC, so my coming to work is last in the hands of the party chairman or in the hands of the UP chairman. That's the kind of notion we need to erase in this country of the issue of party mandate.
Okay, thanks so kindly. We'll hold you there. This will be the last one from overseas, and we'll give the last 2 minutes to him. Welcome.
Yeah, Julius, good afternoon from Minneapolis.
Mm-hmm.
This is Leo Pilswell. Look, I think the Senator Amara, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like the way he speaks, but I got a little observation about him.
Mm-hmm.
He's a nice guy. I think he speaks well. I think he means well for Liberia. But my observation is that from the day he and the guys he helped brought the power, right? They go into some misargument or misunderstanding rather. I think he's not speaking in mind. You can tell that Amara really want to talk, but he's afraid of backlashes and whatsoever. And no, the only way Liberia going to go forward, look, we need to forget about how people feel and think about us.
You think he needs to come out swinging?
Yes, he's not speaking with him. He want to talk. He's not talking.
He won't talk, but then he can talk. That's what you mean?
Yeah, like, the Paul was, I will lash at him. Okay, but what think about you? That's what look. We should think about our unborn generation. How will we suffer in our age? Our parents suffer. Then our children will suffer again.
Okay, thanks so kindly. Let's squeeze this one in. I'm really running with time. 30 seconds.
So, thank you. My name is Raf Sakari, and I'm humbled to be on your show to speak to my former boss, man who have shifted my career, a man who took me as a research officer to what I'm in today as a professional president. I want to say Mr. Konneh, thank you for everything you've done, and keep your heads up. This is Liberia. Let's help to make it better. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks so kindly, Ralph, for the call. Yeah. 1 minute, sir.
Ralph, thank you so much for that. You've grown up to be a good man.
The man is everything. He businessman, he professional, he husband,
a father, a businessman.
They make a move.
I admire you. From where we met at the Ministry of Planning, you've come a long way, and keep it up. Look, I want to close by saying that to my brother in Minneapolis, maybe you don't know me, but you read me from on the screen and something. But I want you to follow me since I entered the Senate. I speak my mind. I am a very independent person. I'm not afraid to speak up. So I'm not holding anything that you may be suspecting that I'm holding. But this is my nature. I'm not a violent person. I'm not the aggressive person. And I like to be this way. But you can't cross me. That's one thing everybody knows. So when things happen, I will speak to them. But I want to close by saying that with all of the issues, people talk about the economy. I spoke from the macro perspective. The bigger economy is stable, and I was very specific about budget performance, about the exchange rate, about the something, and so on and so forth. But if we need to change, back to your question, how can we change this complaints that money is not circulating and so on and so forth? About 80% of our economy is operated by informal businesses. So if we must change that, we need to enforce the Liberia'S Act, the Small Business Act. We need to be deliberate to make sure that this 25% of the budget go to these people, and we need to beef up that act to protect the informal sector and make them part of the informal economy, and create a good fund with all of the exposure to corruption and take the deliberate steps to pump money into this informal sector. I think that will help to solve the problem.
Senator Amara Konneh, thanks so kindly. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next up is the news. Tomorrow we'll be here.